Hi, Elmo Wax Lives. I think it's time we play a little 7 Days to Die. Whoa. Up the ladder, buddy. There you go. Alright, let's get back out here and see about finding me some more schematics. That's the plan, right? I think we might push out to here today. I noticed that on the map just now. And, I think I will head over there. New town. Well, new little village, whatever, little town. Might have some new stuff that I like. Maybe not, I don't know, we'll see. But, yeah, we got to play Remnant today um, in the streaming group. I've been playing a little bit single player, but it's pretty tough single player. It's pretty tough multiplayer. I don't think it's too tough. Like, there's a pretty fine line in there for me where something is tough, but I like it, versus something that is tough and I just think it's stupidly tough. And so far, this one hasn't been stupidly tough. Um, the the only thing that stopped me from getting as far as we made it today was I wasn't really putting a lot of effort into playing it by myself because I knew we were going to start playing it as a group, and I really just wanted to play it a little bit to get the feel for it, and the first boss is tricky. He's actually not dissimilar to the final boss of the Outer Worlds. Um, and it's a cheap mechanic. It's a cheap mechanic for a game. Uh, Glass block, okay. And that is to send out a ton of ads. Uh, Now, in the Outer Worlds, you're supposed to have, like, I guess I could have set them differently, but you have companions, right? In-game NPCs that run around with you. So you're actually a team of 3 fighting against the final boss, but the ads just wipe you right out. And so it took me a few tries to get past that boss in Outer Worlds. This one's similar, and it took us a couple of tries to get past it because it's just like if they were like normal ads, like in the Other Worlds, they're flying ads that shoot lightning at you, and they just tear through your gear pretty quickly. And so um, so in From the Ashes, Remnant from the Ashes, they've got some exploding bad guys that run at you. Uh, what's funny is they sound and do the same thing as those guys in Subnautica, those fish that come out and make that screaming sound and charge you and explode. That's kind of funny now that I think about it. The difference is, though, is that the ones in Remnant from the Ashes release like I don't know, let's call it an ash cloud, an infection cloud. And so if you don't stay out of it, uh, then you get infected, and then your guy starts coughing. And so you'll be trying to fight or dodge or something, and he'll just stop and cough, and then you get hit. Uh, and so it's a little trickier, but we did make it through it. And in fact, we made it to the next. I guess it was a boss fight. protect the person for 2 minutes kind of thing, you know. And it seems pretty fun. I was enjoying it. Um, I also nice. I also picked up. Hold on, I gotta see what the name of this game is. Uh, Buoyancy. I picked up Buoyancy. I like it. Um, it's not amazing yet. I am definitely gonna have to. I definitely want to see where they go with it. I already see some things that should be happening that aren't happening in the game. Uh, oh, when your head came off. Too bad for you. But it's an interesting game where it's a city builder, but uh, you're on rafts because everything is flooded, and so you have to move your raft around pretty much constantly to keep getting supplies from all the trash floating in the ocean, or you might come across a wrecked ship, or little trade posts, or other ships that'll rafts that will trade with you. And so it's quite it's interesting. I had to start over. I did run into a little glitch where my raft stopped moving, and like you have a limited number of people, and so there can only be so many people doing jobs, so many people rowing, because fuel is not easy to come by. And maybe it'll get easier as I go, but right now I have engines, and but I don't ever have any fuel. It feels like it does talk about hunting whales, but I've never seen a whale in the game yet, so I'm not too sure about that. There's also pirates, and I haven't seen any pirates yet. But yeah, it's coming along pretty good, I think. I know the first one I was having a problem with food, and then all of a sudden my raft just stopped moving, even though the rower section was full. And I'm like, why? I can't. I need you to move. You're not. You're not moving. You're not moving. And so, but it's kind of cool. You start with a central raft, and I don't remember how many people it starts with. But it starts with a central raft and some people, and then like you add fishing. I thought that was a nest. I tried to loot that for feathers. It's an old tire. Uh, and so I put down like a scavenger. Right. Each raft is basically a building. So you put down scavenger building, and then they use the supplies that you start with to make the scavenger building, and then so like if there's like a pile of floating, I don't know what you'd call it. If there's a collection of wood, let's go with that, floating all together, then you move your raft so that the scavenger building is in place. And let's go ahead and get this down in case I die. I don't want to run all the way back. And Carl's Cars. We got the grocery store. Eric's stuff. What does Eric have at Eric's stuff? Look at that antenna tower there. What do you sell at Eric's stuff? A small. Dang, I can't get past him. Well, don't stop punching, dude. And And then like, oh, there's definitely, come on, guy. Something up here. Ugh. What? These bags are not... There's a weapons bag up here, I see. Ooh, look at that. Found me a hunting rifle. Oh, yeah. Yep, found me a hunting rifle. Had no ammo in it. Yep, see that? That makes the hunting rifle useless for zombies. If it doesn't go down with one shot to the head, I will save it for hunting animals for meat. Which I should probably start thinking about soon. John's Ham Radios. Cool. I don't know that I need anything in the ham radio department. And you appear to have had some kind of explosion. I kind of want to look upstairs, though. And... yeah, there's nothing here. I'm not impressed with John's Ham Radios. Ooh, cornbread recipe. Still not impressed, even if you grant me access to cornbread. You didn't grant me access to a gardening hoe, so I can't even use it. Oh, it's an elevator. Why am I... Shotgun Messiah sealed shipping crate on the roof up there. A little food pile. Duffel bag. I just wanted to hit F5 to save my game. Does this look like I should be hopping across over this way? Maybe. A little parkour here. That fancy parkour action I've got going. Okay. So I need here. Haha. And I need what's in this crate. And, woo. Junk turret parts. Bow crossbow parts. Stun baton parts. ×2 scope mod. Awesome. Steel sledgehammer parts. That is pretty crazy. That's a large amount of stuff right there. This is where I get all the way to the top, and then vultures kill me. I don't understand what that's saying. Barracks chair? Is this like a specific person's chair? Or is a barracks chair a type of chair? Do they mean like a military barracks? Oh hey, look at here's a weapons bag. Nice. I found a turret. Another one, I think. Man, you know what sucks is that overloaded me, all that stuff. Well, maybe we can eat and drink our way out of it here. Can I? Nope, because that doesn't have slots. I don't need this because I have a better... I kind of want to take that chair back with me. Um, okay, I can get by without that. I guess we can get by without that. Well, that should help a little bit anyways. Now we just gotta try and get down without dying. I guess all I'm gonna do is head all the way back to where I came from, because the first building I looted overwhelmed me with stuff. Whoa! Hey now. Where did you come from, Twitchy? My least favorite kind of zombie. I hate the twitchy ones, they're hard to hit. Wow. The guy took a lot of hits. And now I'm bleeding, and my inventory won't open. You know what? I don't think I have any bandits. There's a pig. Did I not pick up some cloth? It's right here. Let's go ahead and make a band-aid. Okay. And then let's kill this pig. Ugh. Couldn't have done that earlier. No! Wow! This hunting rifle's terrible. It didn't even kill a pig. I don't have enough stats into it, I guess. But yeah, you build like a scavenger, a forager, a recycling thing. I've got a greenhouse that grows grain now. I've got a mill. All sorts of stuff. I have like 6 fisheries though, and that's what's keeping me going. Definitely takes a lot of food. But yeah, it's pretty cool so far. I also saw that Vulcanoids, which was an awesome game that I played through, just had like a major update, adding 40 new things to do with your to upgrade your drill ship. Which is pretty awesome. Got to reinstall that one, I guess. That's what you get for playing through a game during early access, right? But oh man, all right. So today, it's been a crazy day. Not for me, but I mean, I guess a little bit for me. So I get up this morning, and there's only 2 people here. Me and my brother-in-law, and I know he doesn't have to work until 11 today. He has a variable shift schedule. He works in a kitchen, and so his times are just all over the place. And so today was 11, I think, is when he had to go in. So I get up, and I don't see him, which isn't shocking. I get my cereal for breakfast like I normally do. I come down, I start work, and so I work for, I don't know, probably about hour and a half so before I hear him moving around getting ready to go to work. And so we got a dog. It's a big dumb animal that we call Lumpy. That's not his name, but that's what we reference him by a lot of the time, because he's really dopey and he doesn't listen very well, and he hasn't been trained by his upstairs owners because he's not. It's the 9-year-old's dog, and so the parents and the 9-year-old have not, in my opinion, done a very good job of training said animal. And so he can't be left out by himself because he chews up everything. And no matter, I mean, like they let him out by himself and left him alone, and then left one of the doors open, and he ate someone's false teeth. So he's not allowed loose. And then when you take him outside, he has a tendency to run off after things. And he won't come back to you when you yell at him because he thinks it's a game, I guess. I don't know. He just runs back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so he has a chain that he's supposed to be on when he goes outside. And then, uh-oh, I'm infected. I think I have some antibiotics back at the base. Did you like that? Did you like being saved by the grass? And so, they were taking him out on a leash, and he was yanking the leash, because you have to be really close to a dog with a leash, and I'm like, no, we'll get a chain. So we got a chain, we wrapped around a post, and then I put a hook by the door to hang the chain on. So you take the dog to the door, because he's an indoor dog, and you open the door, and you grab the chain, you hook it on his collar, and you let him go to the bathroom, and then he comes back in, and you unhook the chain, and you hang it right on the hook that's screwed into the molding of the door on the outside of the building. So it is literally where you're standing when you unhook the dog. I don't think this is a hard concept. And so I hear him leave, and the furnace is on, like, just for a couple of hours, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, it's cold, because we've reached basically the beginning of winter for us, so it's in the 40s, 30s, 40s, somewhere in there. And so I'm working though, and so I'm just working, and I think about it, and I'm like, man, that's been on a long time. I'm like, oh well, whatever. And so I'm working. About 2 o'clock, I go upstairs, and the first thing I notice is the door to the garage is wide open. Not the outside garage door, but the door from the house to the garage is wide open. We have indoor cats, and the cats are always trying to get outside. Maybe not so much the one, but the other one is always trying to get outside. And because she hasn't been spayed or neutered, I think it's spayed, they definitely don't want her to get outside because we don't want more cats. We already got two's too many. And so the door is just open. And I'm like, oh, great. And so I start toward the door, and I see two cat heads pop up. They are sitting in the boat that is currently parked in our garage. I don't know what they are doing, but they're sitting in the boat. And luckily the garage itself was closed, so I'm actually a little surprised. But so he went to work, and he left the garage door wide open. Like, okay, it probably blew back open, but that just means he didn't try very hard to close it. And I need another box. I got so much stuff here that I'm going to need another box. And so I'm just like shaking my head. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I yell at the cats. The cats come back in, shockingly. Um, and so they come back in. I shut the door. And then I go to let the dog out because, like I said, he can't be out on his own. So he has to stay in his kennel when I'm the only one here, because he's not trustworthy at all. I don't really want this pistol. I don't use pistols. That's useless to me too. And so, yeah, and so I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So I go to take the dog out and open the door, and there's the dog chain. It is wrapped around a post that's attached to the little deck that's there when you open the door. And oh right, I was gonna get. I've got these right here, herbal antibiotics. Did you just take all three of them? No. Cure infection. 10% chance to cure infection. Okay. Oh wait, it says treated mild infection. Am I supposed to keep taking it? Oh, it's 10%. Yeah, I don't understand. Oh, I get it. So this percentage has to be higher than this percentage. Alright, alright. I gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm going to head back out to that place then and see if we can find another building that looks awesome. And so the chain is there, but it's kicked out in the yard. Like, he had to have gone out in the yard, or he just flung it back out into the yard when he brought the dog in. Like, I don't want to go out into the yard. It's cold. My coat and shoes are nowhere near that door because it's like the back door. It's not the door to the garage where we come in. So, like, my coat and shoes are over there. They're not over here, you know? And it's just like, why? Why? And so then I go out. So then I go out and to get the mail. And, you know, he went out the other day to use the I don't even know why, but he's using the wagon. I really don't know why he was using the wagon, but he used the wagon, and he just left it sitting in the middle of the lawn. So now it's full of water from where it rained over the weekend. And it's when I say wagon, I don't mean like a little kid's wagon. I mean like it's this big black, high-sided, hard plastic gardening wagon thing, which was put up in the shed. I mean, at least he turned the light off and closed the shed door finally. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I empty that out, and then we've never had helium balloons here, but for some reason there's an empty helium tank laying in our lawn, and I've asked them repeatedly why it's there, and they just ignore me. And my sister told him to pick it up multiple times, and it's just still laying out there. So I picked that up, and I took care of the wagon, and I put it back in the shed. I was like, this is getting ridiculous. And so then a lot of the days, my 9-year-old nephew, he comes home from school, and he stays here with me. And him and his sister can't be left alone together because they scream and try to tear each other's eyes out if they're left alone for any length of time. And so she usually goes over to the neighbor's house, who has her friend. She goes to her friend's house, and then he gets dropped off because he would rather be here watching Yu-Gi-Oh and Beyblade on Netflix than hang out with the kids at the other house, which there's more than just my niece and her friend, and so he gets dropped off, and so then today's streaming day. So from like 4 to 7 we stream, and so he comes downstairs while we're streaming, and he's like, uh, tells me he's cut his foot and it won't stop bleeding, and so I'm like, okay. So I handed him some tissues because that's all I had available while I'm sitting here, and so he puts it on his toes, and what he has done is they've been told multiple times, do not stand on the radiator, the register. Uh, and so what was he doing? Standing on the register, and he knocked the guard off and put his foot in the register and sliced up his toes a little bit. And I'm like, well, here, just wrap this around it. Go up to the bathroom, get some Band-Aids. I don't know where the Band-Aids are at. I'm like, well, I don't know where the Band-Aids are at either. I don't use them. I'm like, they're... Last I knew we had Band-Aids, they were in that plastic tub. You know where it's at. Yeah, I know where the plastic tub's at. I just didn't look for any Band-Aids. I'm like, well, I'm not going to bandage your foot for you. You're 9. And so he goes upstairs, and then he comes back down. And he's like, I couldn't find any Band-Aids. I'm like, well, is your foot still bleeding? No, not really. I'm like, well, there's anything else I can do for you? But I cut my toes. I'm like, I don't care. You didn't cut them off. So then we're sitting at the kitchen table for dinner. After we were done streaming, I went, and he's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna make dinner here. What do you want? So he wanted pot pies. So I cooked up pot pies, and then he didn't want the pot pies. He said he wasn't hungry after I cooked them. Said he was hungry before I cooked them. Said he wasn't hungry after I cooked them. Like, well, that was a waste of 6 minutes of my life. And so then he says my toes need to be cleaned out. I'm like, okay, so go wash them. I'm not gonna force myself to wash the open wounds on my foot. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna wash your gross, nasty toes at all. Look at that. Berserk Bills. Bill, what's wrong with your head? Oh, it's a bee. It makes him look like he's masked. Berserk Bills is not what I'm looking for, though. And I'm like, what do you mean by you're not going to force yourself? Exactly what it sounds like. I'm not going to force myself to wash open wounds. I'm like, it's not open wounds. It's some little cuts on your toe. It's not like you ripped open your abdominal cavity and your insides are spilling out. An open wound. Please. I sliced off the end of my toes. I'm like, no, you didn't. You got some little cuts on your toe. Well, I'm not going to force myself to wash it out. And it needs to be washed out. I'm like, well, you're going to have to suck it up till your parents get home, because I am not washing your nasty toes out. You're ridiculous. My open wounds. Alright. But yeah, so Remnant was fun. Buoyancy, I think, is fun so far. And my family is crazy. That's what you should take away from this. We did get a little bit farther in the D&D game I'm running, the play-by-post one. I'm glad that that's going again. They have met with the hospital administrator, and he has introduced them to the other new player who's going to be joining us. And then I rolled a bunch of rolls in the GM area, the DM area, whatever you want to call it, where they can't see, so that we can have secret rolls Um, I roll like anything they can see gets rolled where they can see. Things they can't see get rolled where they can't see. Um, so like if they're fighting somebody, I roll the fighting where they can see it because I despise not I despise the cheaty DM I have who does all of his rolls where we can't see them, regardless of who or what they're for, and I hate it. And so the only rolls I do are things where they're not present, and so there is some stuff going down that they weren't present for, and it's pretty funny because I rolled what it is they're in the hospital, which is like a big research hospital for the CDC, and look at that. It's like a big factory here. Foods. It's a Shanway food factory. Interesting. Um, and so they have one of the shards, the artificial human alien hybrid technology that allows people to access the nanite cloud, the shroud. Um, and so the bad guys are currently trying to wipe out all that kind of stuff. And so I'm rolling to see if that can be infiltrated without them knowing what's going on until there's nothing they can do about it. And so I roll, and I roll really high. And I'm like, all right, so she sneaks into the building, and then I roll for deception because she's got to talk to somebody. She rolls really high on her deception. I'm like, all right, this is going great. And so then I roll for sleight of hand to steal an identification card, really high. And then I roll to sneak attack, and so she kills the doctor that she stole the card from, and takes the doctor's place. And so I roll to make a disguise. She rolls really high. I roll some more stealth. And then there's a guard at the door that she needs to break in through. And so I roll to see if she can take him out before he can do anything. I don't know if I can... Yeah, I think I can fit through there once I get this broken open. And so she rolls really high. I just... That... What? That... This zombie literally just came out from the direction I walked from. There wasn't a zombie over there. And, so then it came time to hacking the door open, right? Just because she's got the key card and stuff, to get in doesn't mean that she can get through, because she needs some other identifications, and so I roll a 9. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be like one of those systems where you get like 3 chances, and then it doesn't work, right? And so she rolls a 9. I'm like, well, she's not getting through on a 9. That's not happening. I roll again, a 7. I'm like, uh-oh, she's not getting through on a 7 if she didn't get through on a 9. I roll the third and final time to see if she can get the door open without alerting anybody. A 9. I'm like, oh, there we go. All the alarms are going off now. So she has to change up her plans, and instead of getting to the thing that she wants to destroy, she's going to have to detonate some EMPs to get through the electronically sealed doors. And so that is what I did. All the power is now out in the hospital, and they know it, and they're headed her direction. So we'll have to see what they're going to do. But yeah. All right, with that, I am going to call it a day. So click like you like, subscribe and catch the next one, and I will talk to you later.